Hi y'all, welcome back. I'm your girl Shinai.
And I'm the other girl, Naebella.
And we are two divine women.
So, hey girl, how you doing?
I'm good. How are
Did
you?
you know there's anything different from last week?
I see your little necklace there. It's pretty. It looks like some gemstones.
Seafoam, girl. I love them, by the way. Y'all need to go get them. Seafoam. You can't have this one though, but can you guess like what crystal is rich?
It looks like a fuchsia colored. I don't know what the fuchsia colored stone is, but that purple one on the bottom looks like it's agate.
Don't touch.
I'm not trying to touch it. Okay, and what you got on your hand? What's this? Where's
I don't know if y'all tuned in for last week's episode. They had the cute little bracelet, and I forgot the name of the picture in the middle. She's always the best at it, but I snagged it, so.
It's a Van Gogh, honey.
A Van Gogh, honey.
Starry Nights.
Okay, now it's triggering. Now I've seen this painting before. See, I'm a little slow, y'all. So, if it's pretty, I like it, and then I'll get the research about it. But don't judge me. So, Shinai.
Got a little ring here too to go with the shirt, druzy, and it has a Victorian styling on the side. Y'all, so style. And
She be cheating, y'all. I think she's like best friends with whoever do Seafoam. I think that's what it is. She
They hook me up
in their DMs. That's what. So I just get it because it's pretty, and she be like, they be giving her the homework and stuff. So
and they tell me all the information about it. So that's how I'm able to be like, is that agate? Just trying to look up for Seafoam, y'all. Y'all should check it out for real.
Yo, go get it. Not this one again, but go get it. Shinai, so what is today's topic?
We are talking about colorism today, y'all. This is a serious topic that still affects us in the Black community, whether we realize it or not.
I agree.
And we have our little flower theme. So what is the...
This is gonna be a thorn, you guys, because again, like the rose simplifies love and passion. But if you don't love yourself, you're gonna trickle down from the petals and go down to the thorn. So I think this is a rose with a thorn in it.
I definitely agree with that. It's caused us, colorism has caused us a lot of pain, and it's allowed for us to brainwash ourselves into not seeing the beauty in other Black people.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. Like, and again, I talked about this last episode, team light skin versus team dark skin. We're all the same race. Yeah, you may have different flavors, but I'm no better than she is because I'm dark skinned, and she's no better than I am because she's light skinned. It's like it, and it's bad because we are like divided within ourselves. And I believe we're the only race that does that, and that's really, really sad.
I definitely think so, and I noticed too, colorism can happen in other cultures. It's not just us as Black people. You have it happening in Asian cultures. You have Indians who are very fair skinned. Some of them have Portuguese in them, so they have more anglicized features. And you have some of them that are very dark, the ones that are very, very dark skinned with jet black hair. And even over there, they're looking at them differently because their skin, in their mind, represents something negative. So it's unfortunately that people put you in this category based on your skin or based on your hair or based on other features. But we've got to be able to stop that just by understanding that we're all one. We're all one, and especially within the Black community, there's so much that we can do together if we really connect with one another and understand that we're on the same team regardless of our complexions.
I agree, because a lot of the times the way my favorite analogy for it is like, let's say you have this race, I'm going to say white, and you have this race, Black. White people, they're going to stand up for themselves together, like a couple. Hey, if she say 2 + 2 was 5, okay, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead with it, but when we get behind doors, the hell was that? You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna do it out in front of people, meaning the white people.
Right.
But us, we're just like fighting amongst ourselves in front of everybody else. It's like, okay, if we could do it, then what's gonna stop them from doing it? You know what I mean? We need a strong home front.
And unfortunately, we know that a lot of this comes from slavery. I mean, when you look at the whole psychological separation of lighter skin and darker skin slaves, and the way that lighter skin slaves were treated and the way that the darker skin slaves were treated, we still haven't dealt with that. And I know some people like to sweep slavery under the rug and say that happened a long time ago, but I believe that that's broken our spirits in in a strong way to where we're still needing to heal from that. And it's, I mean, you even see it in the media now, like you see in Hollywood that there's more of a preference or more of a comfort with casting lighter skinned actors and actresses who have mixed looking features. And I feel like that they do that because it helps people who are not black digest that this is a black person, but because they have whiter features or they have lighter skin, they're more marketable to non-black
satisfying
audiences.
the white audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And even with personality traits that may not be associated with a strong black person, it may be more of a mild-mannered, light-skinned person, it's still going to be something that's digestible for someone who's not black, because some people can't handle, raw blackness. It's still offensive to some people in this country.
They better get with the program.
Get with the program, y'all. Yeah, have you ever been told, like, as a light-skinned person, I can say, people have told me I've acted light-skinned in some instances, like it's a bad thing. Oh, you acting light-skinned, girl. If I'm acting like I'm shy about something, or if I'm acting like I'm have class, all of a sudden I'm being light-skinned.
And bougie. Yeah, like the whole race can't be that.
Yeah.
You know what I don't like is, and I used to get this a lot, oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Either I'm pretty or I'm not pretty. Like, which one is it?
It's crazy.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The problem is, like, when you stereotype your own kind within your own race. I think it's more painful when it comes from black people than when it comes from non-black people, because we're supposed to know better. You know what I mean?
Again,
like,
that goes back to me saying we do it in front of them, so when they do it, it's not going to be as bad, because it hurts from anybody, but it hurts more when it's from your own race.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's the one race that you expect to embrace you. Complexion is nothing that you can control. Like,
True.
If people like me because I'm light skinned, I have no control over that, so don't be mad at me about it. I remember being in school though, and people assuming that I was biracial because of my complexion alone. Or people going, oh, you're light skinned with good hair, that means this. And it's not a bad thing, but I've also had negative stereotypes where people would say, oh, y'all light-skinned women think y'all are all that. I'm just minding my business, and oh, y'all light-skinned women think y'all are all that. I've had women who were darker skinned, didn't like me, and were trying to bully me over something like my complexion that I was not. I'm not in control of it. Yeah, I had somebody pull my hair because they thought my hair was fake because I wore it out, and someone just yanked my hair and was just like, oh my gosh. So there was all this anger and negativity that you see as, to me, a representation of a lack of healing. And maybe some of these women didn't see the beauty within their own skin, so they had to try to attack me for it. And I'm sure that happens on both sides of the spectrum.
And the crazy thing is that that's learned behavior. They didn't get that from anywhere. It came from somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and that cycle needs to be broken. I mean, I don't got no kids yet, but let my daughter say, oh, this girl bullied me, X, Y, and Z. We got a problem. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, what are you teaching your child at your house? Because now my child is affected for it.
Right.
And I'm not going to have it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, people, it's crazy. I mean, people are harsh with that, and if you do happen to say you are biracial, they'll pick you apart. Like, oh, you think you're all that because you have nice hair, and oh, you're half white, and they say negative things about having white blood. So it can make you, it's like that self-hate that they have. Mm-hmm. Now they're putting that on you, and now you're born
between yourself because you have two races.
Right.
You don't know.
And even if you don't have two races, it's like you're learning how to hate yourself from your own people at a young age, and that can affect your self-esteem, and that can affect your sense of pride and so forth. So, I mean, it's really complicated, and it's definitely learned behavior, but I think it's something that we need to be aware of, because if minorities stick together and we understand the power that we have, there's nothing that can stop us from reaching our dreams of building community or trying to build ourselves up. And we are so brainwashed by the media and by all the powers that be that we've given them all the power in terms of how they can define and see us. Mm-hmm. So now we see ourselves as negative facets from their perspective, and we don't even know who we are sometimes. And it's not, like I said, it's not just black people, but we see it so much in our society. We see it so much in casting. We see it so much in music. There are people who believe that lighter skinned entertainers are successful because of their complexion. I won't go so far and say that, but people believe that if you're darker skinned, you have a harder time getting out there because people don't give you the same type of advantages. I don't know what you think about that, but.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, how to put this? Like, okay, back in the day where the whole Ja Rule and 50 Cent thing, and I'm not saying this about colorism, I'm saying it's more about using a gimmick for your talent. So let's say one label will say, hey, do a diss track to 50 Cent so that way you can up your ratings, and then the other one does the same thing. Like, if you have a real good talent, your talent is your gimmick. You don't have to come up with any side things to get, an audience. So if you have a talent, whether you're light skin or dark skin, that's your gimmick. You don't have to bleach your skin, or you don't have to be light skinned to be successful.
Yeah.
Because your talent is going to speak for it. They're going to see they should see your talent first before what you look like.
And speaking of talent and bleaching your skin, I'm a Jamaican American. Both my parents are from Jamaica. I was born here, but I know back home there are a lot of Jamaicans or there's some Jamaicans who are bleaching their skin. And when I heard that, I was very sad about that because to me, it reflects, I don't think it's necessarily self-love. Sometimes I think it's survival. I mean, when you're coming from a third world country and you're trying to really find jobs and all that, if you're lighter skinned, sometimes they feel like they have a better opportunity to make it. So it's like upward mobility. If I bleach my skin and if I act in a way that's more palatable in my mannerism, I'm going to be seen as a higher class, or I might be seen as someone who is a better candidate. So I think some people think that they hate themselves. I don't always think it's like that. I just think it's them trying to survive with the brainwashing that they've been given from seeing lighter skinned people flourish, and that's really what they're doing.
Question: do you think that person is like not selling their soul, but like selling out for success? You know what I'm saying? Like something's happening where I can't do it in my own skin, so I'm gonna light my skin up to do it that way.
You know
think
what?
They're selling out for that?
I'm gonna answer that when we come back because it's a long-winded question and I wanted to have some more time.
Hurry up and come back.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, guys.
Break, but we'll be back, y'all.
Welcome back, guys. So before we took the break, Shinai, I was asking you a real juicy question, and you cut me off, and I don't appreciate it.
Oh, we're gonna fight.
So do you remember the question?
I do. I remember you were saying that when people in the Caribbean bleach their skin, do you feel like they're selling out on some level?
Listen,
Pay
y'all.
attention, y'all. It's a seafoam sea gives magic.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, do you think that they're actually, I don't want to say selling, like I said,
For lack of a better
selling,
word.
just selling out, if anything.
I would say if it was America, yes. But since it's in the Caribbean, no. And the reason why that's a distinguishing factor is because we have a much larger middle class and we have a lot more opportunities to succeed here. In the Caribbean, you have a lot of bright people who have the work ethic and they have the desire to contribute to their society, but it's not that easy. There's a lot of political stuff going on over there, there's a lot of economical stuff going on over there, and it's very hard to make it. So I think that it's almost like a desperation, not to say that the people are weak or they're desperate, but because it's such a difficult climate to make it over there, I think people are willing to do what they have to do to survive. So it's more like this is like a desperate move, or this is my final attempt to make something happen because it's really hard. So like I said, that the economy of the country makes a big difference. Here, where you have a lot of opportunities to be somebody and you have a lot of people who are willing to invest in you, if it was people bleaching their skin here, I would have that opinion.
See, now I have another sidebar question. So let's take somebody who did not, I don't want to say the word, let's take somebody who did not bleach their skin and they got successful, and somebody who did. Who do you think would have the more recognition? if you kind of see where I'm trying to go with this, well, say, well, you had to do X, Y, and Z to do this, and this person was in the same boat as you, and they did the same thing.
I hear you. I think in this country it would be the lighter skinned person. Unfortunately, I'm not into certain lighter skinned people in supporting them over talented people. But there are a lot of people who feel like certain celebrities who are lighter skinned are popular because they are lighter skinned. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go into details about it, but I've heard people say, oh, this particular artist is popular because they're light skinned, but then there was a darker skinned counterpart who was even more talented and they didn't get the credit that they deserved. So in this culture, because we are subconsciously trained to believe that lighter skin or people who are closer to white is more attractive, that lighter skinned person would probably be a little more invested in because of that.
Get the one up.
But I will say this, in one case where I think darker skin, I love darker skin people. I've always felt like, yeah, y'all can wear any outfit and look cute.
And I didn't think that.
Y'all can please. Y'all look so nice.
For a long time, I did not think that. I thought that, oh, I can't wear this orange, or I can't wear this yellow.
It pops on the
It's
skin.
gonna look crazy.
It pops. It pops. And I think that it's interesting because I've known when I've seen like black relationships, I might see a lighter skinned woman with a darker skinned man. And it's not to say that that's the only pairing, but I have seen that a lot. And from what I've gathered from that, it's like the contrast. Like it's just lighter skinned people liking something that's different, and we find a lot of beauty. I can't speak for all, but I know I find a lot of beauty in people who are darker skinned because it's closer to the African lineage, you know, and y'all can, like I said, rock anything and look good, you know.
Thank you.
And you see a lot of darker skinned men who are now getting a lot of play from women of different races.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure like when they were younger, it was like, oh, you purple black and you too dark, and they were seeing light skin all day. So it's like in a blink of an eye, chocolate men was in now.
Idris Elba, that's a great example. I mean, not only is he attracted to black women, but he's considered a sex symbol to women of all races.
Everybody want him.
Yeah. So, and he's with the sister, thank God.
He did. I could have sworn he had some snow buddies in between though, but he knocked down with the...
He ain't married.
Okay.
Y'all are not getting Idris snow buddies. Back off.
Appreciate you, Idris.
Wakanda forever.
Right. She brought him home. Appreciate it. But it was crazy how that was. And like I said, I'm telling you, I thought for a long time that I could not wear color. I thought that, you know, it's gonna look weird, it's gonna clash, or I'm gonna get talked about. So as I got older, I would see, okay, that yellow look hot on her melanin skin, you know, or that royal purple was popping. And I just had to learn that because, like we said earlier in the episode, it is learned behavior.
Brainwashing.
Myself included. I'm not even gonna sit there and lie. I was taught that, oh, that's not gonna look right on you, and I have to actually rework myself and say, you know what, Nay, love yourself. You can pull this color off, and it works. So,
yeah, it's just really interesting. I think now people are slowly becoming more open to variations of skin tone for different roles in Hollywood movies. I mean, Black Panther had all types of chocolate beauty in that movie.
Kind of good.
Lupita Nyong'o is gorgeous.
Yes, she is such a rich skin tone.
There was a stereotype. It was crazy how there's stereotypes with your complexion. Like people would think that darker skinned women were more masculine than lighter skinned black women, because I guess they associated the white, like whatever mixture that was in the lighter skinned woman as something that was positive, and they tried to say, oh well, the closer you are to black, and this is back in the day, you must be more masculine. It's like that has nothing to do with anything. People just were reaching to create these stereotypes.
But you could find a light skinned woman, no shade, walking like a linebacker, and she don't look masculine to you. I'm just saying, like, to each his own.
Of course, and that's propaganda. That's just propaganda because it just goes into how we're brainwashed. But I will say, I've met a lot of people who try to make me feel bad about being light skinned and having certain features. People would say all kind of racial things about like my eyes.
And I would think that was not the case, because I thought that light skinned women had it so much easier than dark skinned women.
I wouldn't say, it's hard for me to say that because I know whenever I have an opportunity, I put my best foot forward, and I know that I'm getting whatever position because I'm qualified. I've never once thought it's because I was light skinned, but I will tell you that there were some darker skinned women who were like, oh, that's just because you're light skinned. And I think I take offense to that because it's like you're disqualifying my hard work and all the things that I've had to work hard for, and you act like we just get a free pass because we're light skinned. It's like, no, I've been bullied by more darker skin or black women because of my features when I never even thought. I was so oblivious to the colorism thing because like I grew up in Miami and that wasn't a thing. Like nobody cared about what color you were. It was just, can you speak Spanish or not? So when I moved to Georgia, that's when I became conscious of my color, and I would tell people I'm Jamaican, and they would say you're too light to be Jamaican. You must be mixed with something because Jamaican people are supposed to be dark skinned with dreadlocks, and you have really nice hair and you have slant eyes. I'm like,
again, the stereotype, like that's who put that in the dictionary book. But what person is next to the word Jamaican with the picture of them with long dreadlocks and they're black as tar?
The original Jamaicans,
love black though, but you know what I'm saying, like
yeah, the original Jamaicans weren't even black. They were brought from Africa to Jamaica, and then they inhabited the land. We had Portuguese people come over, we have Chinese people come over, we had people from India come over and socialize to being Jamaican. So a lot of people, it's like you don't know what you don't know, but a lot of people are okay with being ignorant and then spewing this ignorance. And if you're not careful, you will start to take on this lack of self-love for people, and you start to not like yourself.
that was deep.
Yeah, it's crazy. So have you had any particular experiences being darker skinned that you felt worked to your advantage and worked against you?
Work to my advantage. I can't really think of anything. The only thing I can think about of being a victim or of colorism is when I was little. Like what I was saying, either you're too dark or your hair's too kinky or curly or whatever. It hit me in that way, but not as something that, to my knowledge, to where it was an advantage. So I learned now that whenever I put my best foot forward, that is my advantage. So whether you're looking at my skin or not, I'm giving you Naebella. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see her name first before you see what she looks like. And it's crazy because a lot of people who have kids, and I heard this before, I don't know if you did, they would name their kids Jake or Blake or Jonathan, and I'm like, well, what's the reason that? Oh, they won't know my kid's back till he gets to the interview.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people, again, it's learned behavior who they try to set their children up for success, but you're still doing it with the brainwash, method, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And I've said it before myself. You won't know my kids back because I want to give them that fighting chance. Because if they see Shaniqua Johnson on there, they may not even call her in for an interview.
I'll say this: I've dated some white guys, or I've talked to some white guys, and I know some have told me, "Oh, I prefer black women, but I like darker skinned women." And I thought it was great because when people think about interracial dating, they might think, "Oh, well, light-skinned women will have it easier, but dark-skinned women will have it hard." And then I've had some white guys say, "Well, you're too light for me. I prefer more chocolate." And I was like, I didn't even get offended because I thought it was so nice that someone who's not black was seeing the beauty in a black woman that I couldn't even get upset because I'm like, well, I would rather you love this dark-skinned woman and make her feel beautiful than date me, because I can replace you, it's fine.
Right.
But at least you have that heart to say, I prefer a real, genuine chocolate woman.
And that's dope.
That's dope.
You don't see that a lot at all.
That's dope.
Well, you see it more now, but before then it was far few in between.
I'll say this, I know some families who have they might have mixed race kids, but maybe one is darker skinned. And I know that darker skinned child might have felt like the black sheep of the family. So they use a lot of that negativity and they made something of themselves. And they were like, I'm not just a black sheep. I am someone who is separate from my race, but I've made this struggle something that I turn on its head and now it's successful. And on top of that, I got my beautiful melanin here represented. So it's nice when people can take something that they've struggled with, whether it's being light skin or dark skin, and they can use it to something for their advantage. Because for me, people had me feeling self-conscious because I was light skinned and I had sunny eyes, but I know I'm exotic. Whether or not I'm light skinned, I have exotic features, and I've learned to love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if people learn how to love themselves regardless, there's beauty in everybody and beauty in everything.
I agree. That's very true. Like, self-love is so important, guys. Like, love you and what you do. Like, to hell what anybody else thinks. I mean, you are you for a reason, so own it. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, y'all, this is wrapped up. We've wrapped up our episode on colorism. Make sure you guys follow us
On our social media platforms.
Thanks for watching.
Take care.